And so my name is Alberto, and it would be pretty much difficult for me to talk after Ryan, and because, well, I am totally in another planet of photography with him. I am a professional photographer, meaning that I earn my soul and unique money from photography almost 20 years now. Mostly I do commercial photography, so that I work with catalog and a brochure and books and nowadays website. The kind of photography that I do is totally at the other opposite end with documentary or photojournalism. My photography is contemplative, it's determined, it's slow, it is precise. I am a studio photographer. So this means that before I even start to take a picture, I have to think in advance what I am doing. What's going on here? Oh, it's okay. And I have to think in advance what I will go to shoot. No? So the kind of photography that I'm doing takes a lot of planning in advance. I have to think what I am going to shoot at, which kind of lights, which kind of lens I'm going to use, what the background will be, and what the products that I'm going to shoot, what the picture that I'm going to shoot will be used for. And this is a long time consuming task. So that this is why I say that my photography, it's very slow. It takes hours for each shot, for each photography to be done. What you are watching here, some of picture of mine and some other not, of course. But what you can get, what you can see is how the light has been set up, how the shape of each object can stand out, and all in all, what the beauty of this photography is. Well, because of course we are talking about beauty, or better, I'm talking about myself. What I'm after, what I'm looking for in photography is the beauty of objects and the beauty of shapes. Personally, I think that every object that surrounds us, it has its own soul. It might be this microphone, it might be a cup of coffee, it might be anything. But we are sure, I am sure, that with the proper lighting and the proper setting, each object has something to convey, has something to say. Having said that, I think that the cultural background that we must to have in order to make this kind of picture, this kind of photography, is very important. My teachers, or better, the photography I was watching too when I was young, were people like Irving Penn, Edward Weston, Horst P. Horst, Helmut Newton to some extent too. No? So this kind of photography that you have to think beforehand before to shoot. No? And well, it is an easy task to have a photography like that, to perform a photography like that. Of course, you have to set up a little bit your stuff before, so that you have to get some sort of equipment. Otherwise, well, it will be difficult. No? Of course, first of all, so beside the idea that you can get, first of all, you have to use the right lights for each subject, and of course, you have to get the right equipment too. No? Nowadays, it's way easier. So I was born in last century, no? So that we had analog photography. At those times, was totally different approach to this kind of photography. So that, try to imagine, for example, a picture like the next one will take me, it took me around 4 hours to actual shoot. It has been shot by a view camera, so that a 4 by 5 inches view camera. So what you had to do at those times, so you had your subject, and you had to set up all the lights, and you have to measure all these lights in order to have the proper and the right balance. Otherwise, you won't have the correct overall balance in the photography. As you can see here, so that you have to get one light for this one, for this shape, another light for this one, another light for the front here, another light for. So you have to plan those things way in advance in order to get this kind of results. Nowadays, I don't want to say that it's easier, but I have to say that it's totally different. I could have done this one with just one light. Otherwise, to use, well, now I don't remember because so many years ago, but at least 3 lights, 4 lights with the background. But nowadays, you can even work with just one light, and now we are going to see how. I don't know if I should go for some technical details. I don't know if you people might be interested or not. Shall I go? Yes, and very, very quick. And here, some technical issues. So the first one, of course, is the right lens. How to choose the right lens? Why that? Well, because the right lens change our perspective in all. Is that on? Yeah. So of course, you can see what the difference between a 17 and different kind of wide angles. From 17 up to 100, the difference is huge. So that we have to really have in mind what we want to do. Let's say that it's a extremely wide angle, good for advertising photography, for studio work. Well, of course it is. It depends what you want to convey and what effect at the end you want to get. So that this is one thing that we have to think in advance first. So which kind of lens we are going to use. Then, of course, we are going to talk about the light. And about the light, we have basically 3 different kind of lights. So lighting gear. This one is HMI lighting. So I have to say that I never use these because, well, they have not much props on to control the light. Then we have flashlights that are the most used lighting in studios, and I have to say even outdoor. Of course, flashlight has a day balance lights, but it comes along with a lot of props like soft box, strip lights, grids, cones, and anything. And then by the last one we have halogen light. That is the most cheap and most common thing that you can find. I every now and then I still use this one that you can buy for 100 and something, 200 bahts at the market. But you have to set up your panels in order to make the light not that strong. All right? And then of course tripods and lights and stand. And talking about the lights, we have to think about the direction of the light. So that it's not enough that you have your own subject and your light, but you can play around with the lights that you are using. So you see that direction here is almost in front, or from the side, or from the back, and of course dramatically change what we are going to see here. And so we have to decide this one in advance. And then again, the distance from the subject to the light and the angle which one we are using, so that we can see an example here how the angle is it, and here a different one. So the position is almost the same, but the height of the light, so more high or lower, it makes a lot of difference. No? Sorry, I'm going back, and now I'm going on. Yeah, and then by the end, 5 minutes left, and then at the end we have got the shading. So we have to decide we need to strong shade, strong light, or a softer one. So all these are say technical issue that we have to consider. Nowadays, what we do, how do I take a picture, right? I try to say that in 5 minutes, but I'm not sure I'm going to do it. So that please forgive me in advance. And here. So this is the final result. All right. So this is at the end what you will get. So this kind of picture, so that you see that all the shadows are there, all the lights are there, all details that I want to emphasize are there. But in order to achieve this result, I have to think in advance before I start to shooting. And how do I do that? Well, when I'm in front of my subject, before I stop and I consider my subject, and I consider which shape it has that I like it, which shape I want to emphasize, which shadow I want to emphasize, and so on. And so that I take different kind of photographs, moving the lights around, so that say this is one shot, and this is the other one, in order to have say these details emphasized, and then I have another one from the front, and then I move the light again for other details, and so on for the background eventually, and for well, you can see how is it. At the end of the day, I will say have 3, 4, 5, 10 pictures, whatever how many do I need, in order to have them merged on Photoshop. This is a typical file of mine on Photoshop, and you can see here how is it. So I don't even remember how is it. No? So I shortly, may I have 2 more minutes? And shortly I will show you how does it work. And I take all this out. I take all this out, and of course this is time consuming, because in order to get the final job, the final product will be several hours, if not have to say days sometime, in order to get. So this the basic picture, and then I import another picture that I thought in advance with a different light, and so you see here I have got my picture from my light for the bonnet on top, and then another picture, you see, for this shape, and then another picture for, well, in front, and then another one for a different kind of lighting, and then I like this detail, and then here it's more with the flavor more strong, and then with the lights, but the light were not good. And so at the end of the day, this is what I've got here. This is what I've got in order to get my final picture of the car. And then, of course, I go with the background and so on. Well, in order to say, I have to stop now, isn't it? And, this is what basically I do. So that, all in all, I have to say that the kind of photography that I do, it involves a lot the knowledge of beauty, and how we can take out beauty out from any kind of subject, and I have to say, and of course it involves pretty much good technical knowledge too, and well, with my photography you don't have to buy good shoes to walk at all, really. That's not important. Well, thank you very much, and I hope that I have not been boring to you.
you. And we do have times for question. Please, yes, please.
So I see you said you've been a photographer for 20 years.
Yes.
I'm sure you've felt the effects of the digital revolution in the last 5 to 10 years.
Don't tell me about.
Anybody with
Yeah.
a camera can post something to Flickr and then
Yeah.
take those photos. And basically this 10 hours of editing followed by 10 hours of shooting,
Yeah.
20 hours to make this image.
Yeah.
It puts you at a huge disadvantage. So what have you been able to do to counter that and continue to keep
Well, it's very difficult. I have to say that, well, so that I get money for what I do, but not that much. But I'm content what I get because, well, I love my job. I love my work, and I wouldn't think to do anything else at all. Comparing what we were paid back in the 90s for what we get paid today, it's a catastrophe. You say, so why I'm doing that? Nah? Well, just for the passion, just because I love it, just because I don't think I can't think that I can do anything else. Otherwise, maybe I don't know, to try to be a GM of hotel or something like that would be much more money. Nah? But well, I don't like that. I like this, so that well, I keep going on. Of course, the digital advance brought a lot of change, and well, technology nowadays is pretty much easy. Cameras, you buy a nice Nikon D800 and with a good lens, and the result is totally spectacular. How is it? Even though you're not not so used to take pictures, let's put it this way. Was not the same at those time. At those time, you had exactly know what you were doing, and you had to know your film, the light, how was, and a lot of things. Yep.
Just want to know, on the picture you showed before, the knife and forks.
Yeah.
How did you avoid the camera reflection on the steel in the net?
The camera reflection on.
No, you can see the camera on the knife. How do you set up your lights and your...
Let me see. Let's go there. And well, that picture. You mean this one?
Yeah.
And no camera reflection? No. And
I mean, it's very difficult sometimes to make this kind of full and still light.
yeah,
Because maybe you need some white screen.
yeah. And well, there are,
What do you use?
well, of course, there are some tricks and that you use. This picture as the car one, I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picture eventually. Then I had yes, it's not just one. There are several. Well, of course, when I'm shooting, I am careful not to be in some reflection like this one, especially with the car. Was very difficult, huge subject, and very easy to get shoes or a red shirt in it, and well, you have to be careful, and this is why you have to take long time and be very slow when you are taking a picture. Other question, please? All right.
Any more questions? So thank you very much,
Thank you very
Alberto.
much.